So Module 5's discussion board is based on the Islamic faith and how that impacts service provision for social workers based on the cultural and family dynamics that are set up as a result. So the Islamic faith as a whole is still known as more of like an Eastern religion, whereas in the United States we are more westernized. Christianity tends to be the predominant faith. But we are a melting pot, and so we do see a lot of diversity, even though it is still a minority at this point in time. So the reason I point out the difference between Eastern and Western is because as a whole, Eastern and Western cultures are very different, and the Islamic faith really falls into an Eastern culture because it is very community based. It is about the group, it is about the collective. Whereas American society, we tend to see things very individualistic. So what is best for the individual is the choices that they should make and the steps that they should take. So in an Eastern religion or culture, emphasis is put on the whole or the collective of the family rather than on the individual. So just because one person is not satisfied or not enjoying something, those are not seen as reasons to make a change or do something different. It is very much based on the betterment of the whole image. So that is a huge thing. So whenever you're encouraging somebody, because in social services, we're very much about the individual and them empowering themselves and taking taking the reins and really having that self-determination, which can be a little bit different if we are working with somebody of the Islamic faith because, their faith, their entire lives, their families, everything has been surrounded by this idea of what is the greater good, what is the bigger picture, what is bigger than me. And in many ways, that is so beneficial. But especially when we're working on individual issues, that can be really hard to get somebody to focus on themselves when they've really never been taught to do so. Another factor within the Islamic faith that definitely makes a difference when providing services for individuals within this demographic is that it is a patriarchal society in general. There are very strict gender roles that individuals are encouraged to fall into. So again, with more of a collective grouping and view on things, individuals that are raised within the Islamic faith, their behavior, their actions, everything about them, their very being is a reflection on their family. And so as a result, families have a lot of influence on how their behavior is outwards. So as a female, I would be encouraged to, not be as outspoken, to really let men take that spiritual leadership role, but to really be a caregiver and to have some of those more traditional roles instilled in my life. So that would be in alignment with an Islamic faith base. But we do see a lot of change in immigrant families, especially the younger generation, are really bucking some of the systems that are in place. So there's a lot of leeway in a lot of different directions. You can have more traditional style families, and then you can have families that I guess are a little bit more lenient. It's a spectrum and there's variation just like with people because they are people. And so really just having an understanding of what the basis of that culture is and then figuring out where your clients are at is going to be a huge benefit when providing services for somebody that identifies as Islamic. So, or practices the Islamic faith. So, but yeah, so those are going to be a few of the many ways that, families and communities that adhere to the Muslim faith, how that is going to majorly impact service provision. So Thank you so much.